Hello, hello, hello. Is this thing on? Audio check 1 2 1 2. Audio check. All right, looks like we have audio. So let's get it started. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. Once again, live on Twitch. It's Saturday night. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the stream. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day, night, whatever it is in your neck of the woods or in your part of the world. Once again, you're tuned into another episode of Golden Say Everything on Gaming, live on Twitch, and today we're playing Farming Simulator 25. And we're on the Riverbend Springs map, which is one of the 3 base game maps for Farming Simulator 25. Welcome to the channel, welcome to the stream. And without much further ado, we're just gonna get right into it. As you can see, I'm already on here grinding, already going to work, and that's what we are literally grinding. Starting off tonight's episode, as we're grinding stumps down in our little mini tree farm we have over here adjacent to the sawmill on our main farm. And just going through and getting rid of some of the stumps in our tree farm so that we can clear the area for planting new trees in the future. We're just getting rid of all of the stumps that we have in the area at this current moment in time. That's why I had the big JCB out. We got the big stump grinding action going, and we're rocking and rolling, getting all that stuff knocked out. Clear space for new trees. And now that we got them all knocked out, we're going to go ahead and turn the culture on. And we'll go back over here. My tractor's not looking all that great. It's not looking its normal, new and shiny way that it's supposed to look. So we're going to go over here in the washer section here of the garage and do a little cleanup while we're at it. Take the lance here and let's do some spray washing here and get our JCB looking like new and get it all cleaned up. Spray her down real nice there and get her all kind of shine back up. And once we finish here, we'll also do some maintenance on her too, so we'll really get her working like new. There she goes. She's looking good. Alright, we can drop the stump grinder back off in that shed. Right about there. And let's go ahead and park the JCB and just to get you up to speed on what's been going on since the last episode. I did do quite a bit of stuff off camera between episodes. This time around we actually we finished taking care of the animals. We finished feeding supplying our production tins, and back we did added some extra supplies for some production chains, including the milk production, dairy production. We got to actually spend quite a bit on goat milk, which is very expensive. I don't want to buy that much of that. Definitely need to harvest goat's milk, and I don't know if this is something that's unique to this map or is that's the new thing in Farming Simulator 25, but goat's milk is very expensive to buy, but it also sells for a higher price, and it's actually substantially higher than you get off of regular milk, which is interesting. But I haven't done a whole lot with goat milk. Goats are new to Farming Simulator 25, so I'm kind of learning as I go as far as goats are concerned. And that may be a whole new unique thing for 25, and it might be a priority to focus on goat milk instead of cow milk. At least it is on this map, and I don't know if that's what it is for the game, because again, I haven't done a whole lot in 25 outside of this map, so but more than likely a new thing of the game. Alright, so we're just going to get some of our tractors all cleaned up, get some of our base equipment cleaned up, and then we'll come around and do a little equipment maintenance and make sure everybody's up to like new or better than new conditioning, and then we'll kind of take from there. All right, take that off. And let's go see what needs repair and repaint, and we'll go ahead and do our repair and repaint cycles just to get all our equipment up to new or like new condition. And you can get some repairs where they need to be done. There shouldn't be that much going on with our tractors. And we just have to remember when we're servicing our trailers and pull our trailers through to make sure that they're maintained and repaired. In fact, we can do a little bit of that now. That's where this whole equipment maintenance trend right now. Let's just go ahead and do all of our equipment maintenance while we have it on the brain. If it seems like it's necessary. Yeah. I was like thinking out loud, I don't know how far down this tangent I want to go, but we'll go ahead and delve in it a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so that one's in pretty good shape. Just need a little painting, repainting, but otherwise in pretty good shape. I don't think we'll go through everything because that'll just make for a kind of boring episode per se. But it's not like you are coming here for adventure excitement if you're watching a farming simulator stream per se. You're looking for something totally different than a typical standard fare. So. Trailer back attached. Yeah, we're not going to go through everything that I own. All right, so just doing a kind of basic reset. Where we left off, we were tending to the animals in the production chain. We weren't able to get that all finished up on camera, but we did get as much of it as we could. We did finish that up off camera, so all that's been taken care of. We did do the crop harvest of barley on field 2. That's been done. That barley is in our silo, and if we go over here and look now, we'll see how much barley we have in storage now. We're at 48,550 liters of barley, which seems like a lot, but the way the chickens go through it, and with how many chickens we have now, it won't last that long. So I think that's all that we have that we need to get knocked out today. Yeah, we do have if we go on our farmland and look at our crops and see what we have as far as growth. This crop growth is going. Our grass is in a ready to harvest state. We want to wait until it's not just mature, but fully mature. So that takes another ready to harvest cycle. So we won't be harvesting our grass until the month of July. And because you can also see it if we walk over here and you see on the field information here. Let's take a look at that real quick. Yeah, if we walk over here to field information, you see it says ready to harvest, but we're only looking at 99 and 100% Although we got some areas of the field that are actually in a different state because of that. Those were damaged areas, so they're a little bit different. Like you can see with the how tall the grass is supposed to be, which is the second ready to harvest state, because this grass is already there, and that's why it's taller. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that's all we have going on right now. And looking at the map, obviously there was one other thing I forgot to do that you always have to do when you come in on this series. You gotta turn on the conveyor to get the stone production going. All right, so now we're kind of free to our tractors are still running. Yeah. Okay. Yes. And the only thing we're really taking a look at now is we got one more project to close out before we close out the series, and that's the playground project. It's still in progress, but it's very close to completion, as you can see here. Definitely, you got the mass, and the snakes are starting to come to shape. It's the giant slides, scaffolding, and everything. Man, this is one dangerous playground, if I must say so myself. Man. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and hop over to the farmhouse and go ahead and advance time. We're done with what we need to get knocked out for the day. For the day. How you doing, Grandpa? That's not creepy at all. He's not creepy looking at all. I know where Giants was going with that, and that's cool for those, for interactive tutorials. But when you put it in there and you don't give the players the ability to turn it off or make it disappear and all that kind of good stuff, it really gets creepy. I mean, it's cool that they're thinking outside of the box when they're bringing that type of stuff into the game, and you're adding all these new things that are definitely cool for new players, but your new players become old players at some point. So to think about putting it in but not thinking about, okay, being able to turn it off or toggle it or something like that, it's just a little short-sighted if you're gonna throw it in there. All right, and of course those are all the thoughts of me. In my humble opinion, I'm not a Giants partner or anything like that. So, and even if I was, I would not be a partner if I can't speak to both what is good and bad about a company's product. That's just not, uh, how I move. All right, so let's go and look at where we're at. We're now on day 2 in June. First thing we'll do, we'll pop out to the playground and see what it is looking like. And it's down to demanding less than 1,000 planks. So once those planks are exhausted, then we'll see what the next stage might look like. Other than that, what do we have on the horizon? Um, Again, we're not doing anything with the animals. We're not doing anything with what are our crop growth cycles looking like. We should still be pretty good on everything there. We just got our wheat and then our sugar beet, and other stuff is all production chain related. We really didn't get an opportunity to expand our farm operations to that much outside of our base starting area right here, unfortunately, in this series, because it was a slow grind getting our money together and everything. We could get into all of that now, but since we're close to ending this series, I don't think we'll do it here. Now, when we get to the Alma, Missouri series, then all bets off, and we'll play through that Alma, Missouri series, and probably at least into around November. Now, when the expansion drops, depending on how it goes, we may move over to one of the expansion maps because I want to definitely make sure we play with some of the new features that are added to the game. Because if those features aren't on modded maps or anything like that, then we're gonna have to pivot to a map that has the new features that have been added to the game as part of the expansion. And I know that might suck because that means everybody's gonna be playing the same maps for a while. But that is what it is. Sometimes when it comes with new features being added to the game, it just takes a little while for the modding community to catch up and see, and add that stuff to the modded maps. But I will play that by ear as we get closer to the time for the new expansion to roll out, but that won't be until November. But definitely looking forward to that. And again, you can go to the farmingsimulator.com website and see tons of information. And there's stuff they're releasing every week with more additional information about the new expansion that's coming in November. And hold on just a moment. My brain is drawing a blank. I got to go look it up myself because I want to make sure I describe, at least name it properly. Just a moment here. Okay, yeah, the Highlands Fishing expansion that's in November. Okay, and there's a new map that comes with that, and along with tons of new equipment. So definitely looking forward to that Highlands fishing expansion in November of this year. But again, that might mean that I pivot my live stream series to an entirely new map, especially if I can't utilize some of those new gameplay features, and content. All right. So we got some more pallets of planks here. Let me go ahead and make an adjustment to my production here because we do want to produce planks for sure, but we also want to produce long planks too. Planks and long planks is all that needs to come out of the sawmill right now. So those will feed the toy tractor production chain, and that's really all we need coming out of the sawmill for the interim right now, and that will be plenty. And while we're at it, trying to get up here and grab the I can see the icon from my hand. There we go. Come on. Come on. Sometimes it gets a bit temperamental, at least more temperamental than it was in Farming Simulator 22 at times. Alright, so now next piece, and that one, I like to clean it up a little bit. See what I mean by temperamental? I should be able to just slide it right over here and lock right into position without having to do all of that extra moving around just to get it situated. Just take only what we need right now. We don't need to do those other two right there. And let's just go do a quick delivery run because I don't know what the exact count of planks we might need for the toy tractor manufacturing. But we're just good enough to kind of drop off and then see where that leaves the numbers at once we do this particular drop off supplies. We got a beacon turned on there, so we're out here. Even though I got traffic turned on, it just creates issues with the AI or vehicle for our vehicles. They did improve the AI in this game. Vehicles actually drive to the destinations a lot more reliably than they did in Performance in 22. But the traffic still, when you have the traffic turns on, it still creates a lot of problems for all of the AI in general. I just went ahead and turned the traffic off. Having traffic turns on definitely adds to immersion, but the traffic is really just dumb. Drones, it doesn't really do anything. Alright, let's see how we do. If we unstrap, it should just take everything. Awesome. And that's all we need to do for right now. So we can head back over to the main farm. Alright, we got a little rain, a little hail coming through. Yeah, alright, so we're head back to the main farm. I'll hop to the cab and take a little cab view from the telehandler. It's really cool stuff. It's amazing to me how they got all this stuff into the game, even the interior. Because this interior is identical, almost identical one-to-one to what you see in the actual real-life vehicle. Crash counter +1. You paid it all the way out that time, huh? Now we go ahead and shut it down. We're not going to put any of the animals. Got nothing else going on, so we're just gonna hop right on up to the farmhouse, and I think we're gonna go ahead and advance time one more day, so we'll be ready for this grass harvest and get that knocked out. And whatever happens with the playground, it should be in full effect on the next day. So we're gonna go ahead and sleep one more day. All right, so now we're day 1 in July, which is the equivalent of the first half of the month of July. Like I said, now if we go over here and look at the field information for our grass, everything should be even now. All of our grass should be on the same harvest cycle now, and everything should all be the same height. See, expected yield is not showing 111 with the potential being 125. So the grass is ready to harvest, but more ready to harvest than it was when it first entered the ready to harvest state. Hmm. All right, so let's take a quick look at the playground first and foremost and see what its status is. It is now asking for another 10,000 planks, another 12,000 rope, and 12,000 fabric. So the rope and the fabric are definitely new things we're going to have to get figured out, as well as the rope and the fabric are all new. So let's start there. Bounce over to the main farm. Still need the trailer, and we'll address the planks later. Let's first of all look at the demands for items that we don't currently produce or have the ability to produce on the farm or with any of our production chain, and that would be the rope and the fabric. And that's 12 and 12, and then 11,000 planks, I think it was. And we'll just go ahead and buy all of the other materials that are required and just have those delivered to the playground. And we'll do that before we get started with the mowing of the grass. end up over here. All right, and let's start with the 12,000 fabric. And then we'll come back to the road. And since the max we can only order out of here at one time is 10, we're gonna have to do 10, do it in increments 10,000 orders. Or actually, no, that's not correct. We can order the 10, and then order the 2, and then that will complete the 12. And get it loaded up because I don't want to be making multiple trips. So we're gonna get everything here and try to get it all distributed in one load if we can. The 12 pallets of fabric is going to be tricky to navigate in one trip. It's not the pallets themselves are not that tall, so we can definitely stack them. Okay, why are you being so temperamental? So if that's all we can fit on this trailer, that means we're only going to get all right, that'll be 4 with this one. I'm just trying to see what the situation is going to look like. Let's shuffle the pallets around here. All right, so 6. All right, so we're getting them loaded up. This gotta dance. There's always one that wants to be difficult, right? Alright, let's get some straps on here. Alright, let's go ahead and order the other two. Because you need 12 pallets in order to complete the stage, and so we're going to get all of these shipped in one trip. We're not doing all this multiple trip stuff. So we get them on the trailer one way or the other. We don't have to make it this rocket science. We could, if nothing else, we could just do tandem trailers if we needed to, but we'll just stack them. That's all we do is trailers, and then get a trailer with a rear hitch, or multiple trailers with a rear hitch, and we could do it that way all day. But we got it covered. All right, and let's do straps. All right. Don't know why. Oh, I don't know why he don't want to lock in up there. Should be able to lock in. There we go. Lock in. Two more to go. Slide. You know what? There we go. All right, it's a beautiful thing. All right, 12,000 liters of fabric incoming. And we'll do the same dance with the rope and all of that, all the other supplies that are required. Say we got a loaded episode tonight. You know, there's not going to be much in the way of downtime tonight's episode. Here with us. Our objective is to go to the playground, so we don't need to cut through by the farm. We'll just go around that all together, and that way we don't even have to navigate all those tight turns. We only need to make one turn here. Alright, we have arrived. Alright, so 12,000 fabric incoming. Alright, so now we just need 12,000 rope and 10,000 planks. And again, we are on a mission to get this thing done now. It's been fun, but we need to speed the whole operation up so we can go out and dance and start looking at some new scenery. Alright. Even though this map is amazing, we need to do some other stuff. And this is easily the best US base map that Giants team has ever created, even though it's a lot of non-looking US terrain on the map, signs and other stuff, but still a great effort on the Giants team on this one. Turn the trailer got a little swirly there. I wasn't able to get control back. Keep tagging that sign. Once again, we're headed back to the shop, this time for rope. Unfortunately, we don't have a rope making facility. We don't have on a rope maker production chain. It just take too much time, effort, and energy, and resources in the fund. Form of money to get it done right now, at least quickly enough to where it would be adequately supporting this project that we're trying to get built here. Even if you do buy all those facilities and get supplied, then we don't need to produce that much rope. And we'd be here for quite some time doing that, if that was the case. Let's go ahead and order our 12,000 rope, and we'll do this one a little bit different. Go back in and order the other 10. That set us back 130,000 plus the 30,000 for the first one almost. So almost 160,000 for all of it. The rope doesn't really stack, but we're gonna make it stack. Another one. We got it released. Had to hop in there. You know, me and my OCD starts to kick in, so they have to be a pseudo perfect. Let me stop with my brain. Excuse me, overcorrecting. We just need to get them on there, but I'm still too busy trying to make sure they're super neatly stacked and all that wonderful stuff. Totally not necessary. Yeah, OCD still prevails in the end, right? That'll help with them moving around a little bit. Yes. Oh, just be still. Thank you. Alright, I'm gonna do 2 more. There we go. That's one. And again, it doesn't have to be clinical perfection. It's also just my brain going in that direction. Literally could just throw them on here and then just make sure you strap them down and then drive off. But I want to actually make them look neat. I'm like, why is the hand not coming up? Alright, screw it. Yeah, the game is already messing with me there. here, we're no longer following conventional ways of doing things. We're just doing what we got to do to make it work right now at this point. Because the rope is not designed, the rope pallets are not designed to be stacked, but we are definitely going to stack them here. You're already seeing it. Now it's gonna jiggle and float around a little bit because they aren't supposed to be putting stuff on top of stacking pallets on top of pallets with the rope. Get that. Set that one on there. All right, and that's all 12 of the rope pallets. So let's go. Trying my best to crash this whole thing out at the end of the day. Stay focused. Let's task at hand. I totally forgot I gotta go do some straw pickup over there on the main farm. On the barley field over there. Totally forgot about that. Thankfully, it doesn't disintegrate. Alright, let's go. The rope has been delivered. We got some of that money that we spent on the rope back. So it's all a win-win in my opinion. Now we just need the planes, 10,000, 16 planes. Basically 11,000 planes is what we'll deliver. Hard time with my driving, but we just take it outside. They're actually target practice. But it wouldn't be me if I didn't knock out a few signs along the way, now would it? Okay, I went too far out that time, but yeah. We're not going back to the stop. We do actually want to go too far. Alright, so now let's get into this grass harvest. Alright, a couple things before we do that. Backwards. Beautiful. You're the workhorse of our farm by far. quick that the telehandler cleaned up. She's accepted that message. She's gonna clean up quick. I can drive straight. Jeez. Yes, right. So, good. Alright, and we're on to the next stage of the project here. We gotta get those planks delivered. So in this scenario, we're looking just for the planks. They want to hold on to the long planks, so we'll need those for our toy tractor production. So we'll keep that going. And again, with the stacking, now I said, just gotta let my OCD side of my brain not drive me mad here. As the camera starts doing weird stuff and you try to pop up on top of the pallets and kind of do stuff to move them around and make them more moving. Alright. We're about to start something else. Too late, it's already started. I guess it was like you saw the explosion starting, and it's that thing that I hate the most about doing what I'm doing now. Like, it shouldn't be this goddamn difficult. So, pardon my French, man, but it shouldn't be. And it wasn't in 22. I don't get it in 25 why the physics do that stuff that they do. Let me just go ahead and do it that way. I'll just leave it alone once I got it on there. So as long as they're close to where they need it. Because I can't get it no longer. Much time doing simple crap. It's right over. It was so much easier to move around when you're carrying an object. And unfortunately, 22, I don't know what it is about 25. But I guess I will bring this because there was this issue with when you're carrying an object in 22 where the game will literally just start lifting you up in the air until you release the object. I call it the Superman bug. If you wanted to be Superman, sometimes all you have to do was just go grab an object sometimes, and the next thing you know, you start floating, and you continue to go up until you let go of the object. Alrighty. And in the interest of time, we'll fill out the rest of the gaps in the shop. So we got this slowly up. We go in, we got 7. We need 4 more. Got to wait on. I can wait on them to be spawned from the sawmill, but it's just take too long. Actually, I'm gonna go to the shop, just buy them, and I'll pick that money back. That's where. Alright, that's one more blank pallet should do the job. Alright, so now we just got to stack them up a little bit here and give it what bricks we've already had. Just believe we can get this done without much hassle. Cooperate. Alright, that's all of them. So now we can get to scooting. We're headed back to the playground. Right, here we go. That is 11,000 planks delivered. All right, so we're off. All right, we're heading back to the main farm. We got the playground supplied. Now we can just work on getting into our production chains and our animals or any other related activities that we have. But before we get into that, that's might be all stuff I do off camera. But what we will do is go ahead and mow some mowing, pick up that wheat straw that's over there that I totally forgot to pick up. Straight to the main gate. There it is. Let's go ahead and park that. All right, so now we want to go ahead and focus on mowing. So let's go to the shop and get you guys know the drill by now what equipment I like to use. Also, while here, looking at some items that are on sale this week. We got a silver 6500 on sale. That's a new mod I just came out recently for the game that I've added to the game, and it's already showing in the sales menu. You don't really need a pickup in this series, but still, nice mod. I forgot why I was in the shop. All right, so you know the drill by now. We're gonna go ahead and get the mowing equipment. Well, we're gonna use equipment that promotes fast mowing because we don't want to get bogged down in all of the minutia of that process. Once you know what the process is, it doesn't change. All right, let's release that, and we gotta get a pickup. Or in this case, forage wagon, and we want to use the Super Collect Unrealistic. I'm either working with prop guide, capacity, 500K, lease. And use a medium-sized tractor to run this. Okay. Medium tractor, thank you. And 7245 REOS4. Jump, and let's go. Gotta work in. There. They come into the mower momentarily. Let's go get the straw first. All right. Dude. participating. I thank everyone tuning in and checking me out. I'm Jose doing gaming on most of your major social media platforms, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, so on and so forth. Whatever it is you're running across my content, please don't forget to like, subscribe, let me know what you like, let me know what you love, let me know what you know. That's the way I can get better is with your feedback. Feedback is appreciated. Episodes of my Twitch live stream series are uploaded to my YouTube channel to go in their entirety. Whether it be YouTube or whatever platform you're enjoying my content, please don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when I add fresh and new content. Again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. That really helps out the channel and so many other things in so many ways. Okay, we're going to go ahead and drop this straw. Get started on our mowing. All right, let's go. More, turn on more. Okay, back under the buttons there. Pretty straight up process here. Alright, that's it. Jose to go on gambling. Farming Simulator 25, Riverbend Springs. And I will catch you on the flip side. Have a good night, everyone.